gathering, hymn number 396. I know this rose will open in your gray hymnal.
So this is a great opportunity for a round. So this one is really great because you can just come in every measure. So let's try it once. Let's actually try it twice all the way through, and then you can start again right away, and we'll sing it, I don't know, a total of 4 or 5 times. Just come in each time as you wish, okay? So here's the tune.
Welcome as we welcome our board member, April Strittmatter, who will give our welcome to the congregation.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is April Strittmatter, and I am the Vice President of the Board of Trustees. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Hudson Valley. Whether you've been with this congregation a decade or more, or this is your first time visiting us, we welcome you. Whatever the faith and traditions of your past, we welcome you. Whatever your theological stance, we welcome you. Whoever you are and whomever you love, we welcome you. Whatever your heritage, we welcome you. We respectfully acknowledge the territory on which our church building sits as the ancestral homelands of the Munsee, Lenape, and Wappinger people. Announcements. We have a few announcements today. Reminder, the UU 101 session led by Reverend Daniel will take place today from 11:30 to 1 in person, or Wednesday, October 25th from 7 to 8:30 via Zoom. Please contact Sherry Brown for information and to RSVP. Today, after coffee hour from 12 to 1, a group of us will walk to support the Henry Chapin Memorial Run Against Hunger. We will leave our cars in the church parking lot and walk along Maiden Lane, just across the street. Look for an event flyer and donation jar during coffee hour. Cash or check donations are welcome. See Jenny Stillman. And finally, don't forget to mark your calendar for family game night and potluck this Saturday, October 21st from 5:30 to 9. For the most up-to-date information on these topics and others, please refer to our weekly e-newsletter and check our website frequently. And please join us for conversation after the service. If you are present in the sanctuary, please join us for coffee and conversation in the fellowship hall. If you're watching via live stream, the link for our Zoom coffee hour can be found in the Saturday reminder in your email. If you are just recently joining us and would like to receive our weekly e-news, please email us at uucroton@gmail.com with your name, and we will make sure you are added to our e-news list. Also, please remember to silence your cell phones at this time. Once again, we welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Hudson Valley.
Thank you so much. One additional announcement is from our social justice community is working with the Cortland Food Pantry this month, and the particular need is to bring in cereal. So over the coming weeks, if you're able to, this will make a big difference to a lot of families in our community. As Unitarian Universalists, we are part of a long-standing tradition of interfaith hope. In the 19th century, Aidan Ballou wrote that years are coming, speed them onward, when the sword shall gather rust, and the helmet will sleep at last in silent dust. There will be a time, foretold in the ancient song, where there shall be a happy world of peace. And it is particularly sad and painful today that we, in a religious tradition founded on connection and possibility, are gathering in a time where there is war in the Holy Land. It is so sad. So many families are aching. So many children are crying. So many mothers are not sure what is happening to their children. And yet we, like so many houses of worship across this world today, dare to say that love still is with us and abides, even in moments of hostage-taking and terrorism, even in moments of war and profound hunger, even in times of deep separation. So as we gather today, we have hope, and we will ring those bells in our sanctuary, not just for that sound of joy, but for that commitment of defiance, that we still gather in love, that we still seek hope across tradition, that we still care for one another. So in that spirit, with that power, we invite the children of our sanctuary to join with Jane Padell, our Director of Religious Exploration, and we will ring the bells of our congregation 8 times. We think of the communities of faith throughout Westchester, holding tender loss and grief, and hoping deeply for love. And may those bells remind them that love is unfolding. Love is unfolding. Thank you.
Our chalice lighting words come today from Christine Robinson. In our time of grief, we light a flame of sharing, the flame of ongoing life. In this time when we search for understanding and serenity in the face of loss, we light this sign of our quest for truth, meaning, and community. Now please join me in saying our unison affirmation. The words are in your order of service. Inspired by love, our mission is to seek our true nature, connect deeply and openly, and act for justice. Now please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing hymn number 399 in your gray hymnal, Vine and Fig Tree.
kind of round week. So there's, each of these little sections repeats. Let's do that all together. But then, after we've sung it through once, including the repeats, if you'd like to, come in on the second part. And we'll do everything one more time with repeats. So frankly, it's like 4 times total. The tune goes like this. And the second part goes like this. Let's have this side start with the first part, this side start with the second part. 1, 2, go. Let everyone be the vine and fig tree, shall live in peace and not
Now is a time in our service for a moment of pause, of breath, of meditation. We do this several times each month because it is important to claim space in a world that is busy, in a world that is grieving, in our lives that have so much happening within them. It is a countercultural act to pause and to stop and to breathe. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. Breathing in, my breath goes deep. Breathing out, my breath goes slowly. Breathing in, I am aware of my body. Breathing out, I relax my body. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I care for my body. Breathing in, I smile to my body. Breathing out, I feel ease in my body. Breathing in, I smile to my body. Breathing out, I release the tensions in my body. Breathing in, I am aware of my stable posture. Breathing out, I enjoy the stability. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. Breathing in, I dwell in this present moment. Breathing out, it is a special moment. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. In this community, through pause and song, reflection and ritual, we come together to seek what is grounding and good. And it is with joy, even on hard days, that we sing. And today, we have a gift from our choir, the beautiful song, For the Beauty of the Earth. We invite our choir forward today. Music is sacred. Music is sacred. The children in our congregation in a moment will be invited to religious exploration in the fellowship hall of our director of religious exploration, Jane Podell. But to do that, we sing. And we sing a special hymn, number 413, Go Now in Peace.
Once all together, time does it
There's a little context for today's reading, Psalm number 121. It is very personal for me right now because of a recent thing that happened to friends of ours, Sarah and David. They were visiting their son, Sam, in Ashkelon, Israel, when the war broke out. They were all safely evacuated back to New York City this past Thursday. But during a particularly dangerous point in their evacuation, Sarah repeatedly recited the last lines of 121 to herself to keep herself calm. Poignantly, they were the same words she had recited when picking up her children from school in Manhattan on the morning of September 11th. A Song of Ascents. I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore.
This day, we will have a ceremony of joys and sorrows, but it will be different than sometimes we've had. Just as different moments invite different opportunities and reflections, so today and this week invite us to consider the traditions of our faith, from water ceremony and flower communion, to imagine what can we do in a time of grief, communal grief, personal grief, the stories that we hold in our day-to-day lives. And so today, we offer a ceremony of lament and hope. Music will play in a moment, and people will be invited forward and take a pinch of salt, symbolizing tears, and put it into this common space of water. After each pinch of salt is put into this common vase, a candle will be lit, symbolizing hope. Our tears and the sadness we feel in our personal journeys for all that we've encountered this week, in our communal journey for what's going on in the world right now, every one of those is real and deserves to be marked. And at the same time, the love we've encountered this week, that's real too and deserves to be honored. So this Sunday, our Joys and Sorrows ritual is one of tears of lament and affirmation of hope. And we'll go row by row, beginning with Carol. What? Are we all supposed to? Yes, like water. Rituals mark moments. We release the tears into the water. We're part of a common story. We lift up, even in the hardest times, these hopes. Our personal stories are connected, and the love that we need, we seek together. And times like this echo moments that inspired the writing of this hymn, Spirit of life. Now is a moment in our service for pause, for prayer, for meditation. Rabbi David Wolpe says that we appreciate the beauty, the wonder, and the miraculousness of life. And that appreciation is critical, for only when we understand how splendid yet fragile the world is can we begin to repent for having damaged or neglected it. All tikkun, all reparation begins in appreciation. We heal because we understand the value of this world. We heal because we understand the value of this world. Spirit of life and love, bigger than the universe, smaller than a grain of sand, be with us this week. Let us be attentive to those around us. Let us listen to the sadness behind the smile. Let us encounter one another. Let us give grace in moments of anger. Let us bring curiosity in moments of difficulty. May we be attentive especially now when so much threatens to pull us apart. May we seek love and offer it and encounter it. And may all who are suffering, whether in this country or in the Holy Land, whether in Ashkelon or Gaza, may all who are crying and mourning today know that love unites Ukraine, Haiti, our community. May we find love and seek love. Amen. This has been a really terrible week for a lot of people. And in our religious tradition, it's been especially painful because the premise of our faith is that across traditions there is hope and love. And that's still true. But to see the ancient sacred lands of Israel torn into this deep war, it's a deep challenge to our aspirations. And in times of sorrow, I look at ancient texts. I find comfort in ancient texts. And our sermon reading today, that powerful, poignant translation that Tina read, is from the Hebrew Tehillim, or writings, in English often called the Psalms. And it's a book of lament and protest and thanksgiving. The oldest in this collection go back nearly 3,000 years to the time of the ancient Israelite monarchy under David. The most recent are over 2,400 years old from the time of the exile in Babylon. And in the Quran, David is given an honorific, not just as a king, but as the author of a foundational holy book, the Zabar. So these books of protest, lament, thanksgiving, the Psalms, the Tehillim, the Zabar, they're held in reverence by the three major Abrahamic traditions. So if you want to encounter the grief that our world is experiencing, or many people have, perhaps turning to this ancient book might give us language. A congregant said to me this week, it makes you wonder, is it really 2023? Is this the future? Is this the world that we thought we were in? One psalm in particular, 42, speaks to me about this grief. And in English translation, it says, "Deep calls to deep at the thunder of your cataracts. All your waves and your billows have gone over me. By day, the eternal commands steadfast love, and at night, the Holy One's song is with me, a prayer to the God of my life. I say to the Holy One, my rock, why have you forgotten me? Why must I walk about mournfully because the enemy oppresses me? As with a deadly wound in my body, my adversaries taunt me, while they say continually to me, where is your God?" That's over 3,000 years old. "Why are you cast down, O my soul? Why are you disquieted? Hope in the Holy One, for I shall again praise my help in my God. Oh, send out your light and your truth, let them lead me. Send out your light and truth, let them lead me." At the very foundation of our Unitarian and Universalist religious traditions, which are over 500 years old, is the premise that there is more that actually unites religious tradition and the people who inhabit and create those traditions than divides us. To see the hellish terrorism, war, and violence in the Holy Land is a deep wound. To see pogroms in 2023, to see children fleeing rockets, to see parents crying for children, buildings in ruins, is it really 2023? And yet, at the root of all of these traditions is a response of compassion to suffering. People have been asking, where is your God, for 3,000 years. People have encountered moments of devastation and mourning for centuries, and yet there's still a persistent tug that perhaps there could be another way. On the back of your order of service is the text of the hymn that we sang from the ancient book of Micah, saying that they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore, but they shall all sit under their own vines and under their own fig trees, and no one shall make them afraid. This is an ancient prayer. It could have been written yesterday. Could have been written in Ukraine. And sometimes outsiders criticize interfaith spirituality or liberal religious traditions as fluffy, and they don't know our history at all. The earliest teachers in our faith in Renaissance Europe, in the Ottoman and Habsburg regions, faced so many difficulties. One of those was a teacher, Miguel Servetus. He was burned to death as a heretic in Protestant Switzerland after escaping the Inquisition in Spain. And he was burned for arguing for religious pluralism. He wrote, "It is harder to love than to believe." And I've thought about that so much in the last few days. I've thought about the pain. I've thought about my friends who have been crying. I've thought about people who are just scared. I read what Rabbi Stephen Lewis said, that he wrote that the Psalms actually enable me to stand as a Jew today. By all logic, he writes, my people should have disappeared when the Second Temple was destroyed by the Romans. But the Pharisees and their heirs, the sages of the Talmud and the Midrash, they reformed our faith tradition, moving it from centered in the temple to the study of prayer and song and deeds of kindness and compassion. The Psalms are our oldest prayer book. Songs, ancient songs, accompany in times of sorrow and joy. And that song that Tina offered, that Psalm 121, is one that I encountered often in a hospital, In 2019, I served and apprenticed as a hospital chaplain, and I encountered people, families, individuals over that summer of all backgrounds, ages, of different moments of commonplace illness and unique and tragic loss. And I learned from an amazing staff of religious leaders, practitioners of Zen Buddhism, Sunni Islam, conservative Judaism, Reform Judaism, Roman Catholicism, Seventh-day Adventism, Reconstructionist Judaism, United Methodism, Episcopalianism, and Unitarianism. And you know what they all had in common? They wanted to be present with people in hard moments. They wanted to bring the rituals of their tradition to the patients who asked for it. And many patients, particularly when very ill or near death, would find comfort in requesting a favorite poem, a song, or an ancient sacred text. MGH had a little booklet of interfaith readings. One of the Unitarian Universalists on the committee made sure there was a Mary Oliver poem. But the psalm that was most requested in those rooms was Psalm 121. I lift my eyes up to the mountains. What is the source of my help? My help comes from Adonai, maker of heaven and earth. The holy will not let your foot give way. Your guardian will not slumber. Behold, the guardian of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. Adonai is your guardian, your protection at your right hand. The sun will not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. The Eternal will guard you from all harm. The Eternal will guard your soul, your coming and your going now and forever. The sun will not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. I've attended several prayer vigils for grief, for lament, for mourning over the last week, since the terrorist attack in Israel and the war in Gaza. And one of them was last Sunday evening at the Brooklyn Heights Synagogue. And I was struck at how many different clergy of different faith backgrounds Rabbi Serge Lipp invited to be part of the service. I was moved at how often congregants said, it's so important that so many people are here, that we're not alone in our suffering. I've connected this week with colleagues in our Welcoming and Affirming clergy group here in Croton. Rabbi Jennifer at Temple Israel has been doing an amazing job in a very difficult time, caring for so many people. Reverend Justin, Pastor Betty, Mother Jenny, and amazing community advocates like Nola Nasser, who's the founder of Our Common Beliefs in Asaning, which is an interfaith Islamic group working for understanding among Jews, Christians, and atheists locally. Reverend Lane Cobb and Reverend Emily Detar-Burt in our Unitarian Universalist tradition are working and hosting a prayer vigil at this congregation Wednesday at noon. There is so much sorrow, and there's also so many opportunities to connect. Alongside this anger, there is an abiding presence. This week, our beautiful Black Lives Matter flag was torn down and thrown into a ditch by the side of the road. I found the sign, which for us is a symbol of our call to racial justice, a sacred phrase rallying us into particular awareness of the reality that Black life matters. But it was thrown in a ditch. And I found the flag and one of our signs in the mud. I called and reported it to the state police here in Cortland. They were so kind. They were very responsive, and they said they're committed, especially in this heightened time, to support the well-being of various houses of worship. And I know that Temple Israel this past week received additional threats as well. So I shared this news with our clergy group, and who wrote to me? Rabbi Jennifer, who is in the middle of so much. And she says, in times like this, people seek to divide us. In times like this, people seek to divide us. Don't let them. And I was so moved that even in the midst of this deep suffering, she took time to reach out to our community. She took time to practice hope. We must remember that just as these tears are real and must be honored and must be affirmed, that hope and love is real. It's real. It's possible. And one of the prayers offered at that vigil in Brooklyn Heights last Sunday evening came from the prophet Micah. They shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. But they shall all sit under their own vines and under their own fig trees, and no one shall make them afraid. Tehillim, the Psalms, Zabur. It is right to gather. It is important to mourn and to name the loss and the death. And it is sacred, even when there seem to be few reasons to do so in the world, to try again in love. May we, you and I, continue in this centuries-long quest for compassion. May it be so.
Each week, we make an offering from the bounty we are blessed to enjoy. We do this in the spirit of love and generosity, aware that we have benefited from those who have gone before, those that in their turn gave generously. Our offering goes to support the work of love and justice undertaken by this community. Today's offering will be shared with Midnight Run. Please refer to our e-newsletter or the website or the order of service for more information. You can make your donation in several ways. If present in the sanctuary, you may give cash or a check in the offering plate as it comes by. From your homes, you can make your donation via credit card or PayPal using the links provided in the e-newsletter or by visiting our website, UUCHV.org. Or if you prefer, you may always mail us a check. The offering will now be given and gratefully received. Please join me in the dedication of the offering. The words are in your order of service. May these gifts and the work of our hands and hearts give power to all we stand for as a community of faith. Now please rise in body or spirit.
For our final hymn, which is number 95, There Is More Love Somewhere, which reminds us that even in moments throughout our week where we might feel alone, there is more love somewhere. There is a relationship, an encounter, a person, a memory. there is more love somewhere.
Please join me in the reading for the extinguishing the chalice. The words are in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
May we encounter moments of glad surprise. May we be present with one another through the deep sorrows of our days, and may we seek always love. May it be so.
wanted to say, you had said something early when you first got here about how you played previously in a band,
Oh, yeah.
and I was listening to Sirius XM, Billy Joe and Chuck. They were sort of introducing his newer band and talking to them, and one of the people